There you is, Juliana. Got your messages. It's funny that you sent those messages right before I was going to jump on. And I see you're farm thugging still, so do your thing. And there's Chiro, active and awake. Right on. Oh, as you're grabbing the headlamp. Oh, yeah. Chiro, I'm sure you use headlamps a whole lot around the house there. It's one of those things, especially when you're up on the hill, the headlamp comes in handy. Off grid, or even on grid, sometimes you need those headlamps. Yeah, I got a fancy one now. I need to customize it so it fits, because I got all that going on. So a lot of the headgear, I gotta customize it. There's another Carl Casey track. Oh yeah, Infernal Sky. Good show tonight, Chiro Sounds and Garrow. Over with Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress. Yeah, I was checking it out. Chilling, chopping it up in the chat. And tonight, or today, however you want to look at it, I was thinking, let's hit the North Coast. And that's because the other night we were talking about a missing persons case that we seen at a southern, well, it's Whale Gulch. So Whale Gulch, what is that? Mendo, Juliana. It's like pretty much borderline Mendo, Humboldt County. And there was like an update on that, but no signs of the man yet. Meanwhile, we'll check out Catalina. And you're going on grid. You need that. Yeah, no, it's good when you're able to. You know, up in Soham, we were off grid, even though like kind of back behind us, way behind us towards uh Bell Springs, there is power lines that go through there. There goes my voice. Just had a Toki poo. Yeah, it was a great show. Getting into the star forts and giants, a lot of good information, and it was super cool that you shout out lunch break to Chi. I went ahead when you said that. I was like, all right, this is my chance here. I threw his link up in the chat there. Hopefully, some people caught that. Yeah, I don't know. Is it daytime, nighttime? You don't know. You're in the barn. There's beautiful Catalina. The other night, it was all dark. They turned everything off, it seemed like. I don't know what was up with that. There's Fast Hemi stepping in, pulling up, screeching tires, smoking. Good to see you, Fast Hemi. And it was an active day today at the shop. It was a good one. Had its busy moments, which is good, especially towards the end. My brother ended up staying a little overtime. He does that every now and then. And hopefully things went even better for him while he was there. But he's getting ready to hit the Sierra Nevadas. So excited for him. and safe travels. And hopefully he gets a sighting of something cool. What else is popping out there? Let's see. I did get a message earlier from Ma Dukes from moms, and yeah, we keep in touch with everything we talk about, and I got this. It was a TikTok, and it was breaking news: deadly helicopter crash near Uvalde. Two dead after helicopter crash in Kinney County. I think that's Texas. Anyone hear about that? I was checking these messages a little late, but yeah, trippy stuff. I don't know. We've been touching on those aircraft incidents, and there's Woo Reezy. What's up, brother D? Yeah, it's Juliana telling Fast Hammy to get some rest. What's up, Javier? Yeah, people stepping in here. Right on. Got the owls. I'm an owl tonight. It wasn't last night. Last night, I don't know what happened. I was getting ready to do all this. Then something hit me like zang. And I think it might have been that yerba mate. I don't know. I started getting like the spins and stuff. I was like, I'm feeling kind of weird. I think I should go lay down. And I did. And that was that. But we're up tonight. And we did a little live earlier from the shop. Hopefully y'all caught that. It was just a hangout, chilling out, chopping it up as we're doing tonight. But tonight we're gonna dive into a few things. But let's take a look around SoCal. Let's see. Catalina's still rolling there. We'll take a look at LAX, Santa Monica Pier, the Mount Wilson cam, and yeah, there we go. So let's see what's next. There's Santa Monica. Anyone been to the Santa Monica Pier? Everyone's like, no thanks. Oh yeah, need plenty of that. Especially with the warm days recently. Been hydrating a whole lot. Coconut water and good juices and water. I hope y'all staying hydrated too. Got to. So yeah, we're gonna get into some missing persons cases from the north coast of California. Like there goes Babylon. The sirens on. They really patrol it now. A lot of things happen here. Santa Monica has been wild lately. Last year, a lot of things happening in Santa Monica, and unfortunately to tourists as well. So that's always no good. People from other places come here and bad things happen to them. Let's check the Mount Wilson camera really quick. Let's see. Mhm. No, that's a LAX. And who was it? I think it was John Levi YouTube channel, you know, old world topic, Tartaria. I was watching something recently. He was saying something about airports, I believe. Something about airports and them being at the end of some, I forgot what it was. I'll check it out and I'll get back to you on that. But it just made me think of that. And yeah, going back to the Star Forts, Chiro Sounds in the chat, they were talking about that tonight. And yeah, the topic of like grids came up, which was super cool. And then circuits that came to mind, and that was mentioned, which was good. I think that was part of Jessica's her her data. And yeah, that I had mentioned that in chat, and that I also got from John Levi because he touched. There was one video he did, and he touched on a particular part of California, which we I recently found out we have ties to. Somehow, I guess Grandpa had gotten a piece of land there, but it's a weird story, and it's a weird part of California, and it's got this weird story where there was this guy. We'll do a thing on him too. There was this guy who uh I guess was really pushing for people to invest into this new city in California. And it was actually called California. It's called California City. Anyone ever heard of California City? So it's out in the desert here. And at the time, I think it was, I don't know if it was the 60s, maybe even earlier than that. But he was really pitching, he was trying to make it like the second Los Angeles, like a huge city out in the desert. And so they ended up selling all these pieces of land and all this stuff to people, but a bunch of people didn't. They never moved out there. I guess it was like this failed dream and project, and I don't know what else. And I guess as of late, it's been developing. But I hear it's kind of these desert towns also have their trippy people, and some crime as well. So I've heard about that. I've never been to California City, seen some videos on it, and have met some people that have, I guess, lived there. But so there's all these like, yeah, I heard it's all broken up, all these like roads in the desert, and they mark the plots with like these little numbers and stuff. And oh yeah, you see, Javier here says that they used to promote it on TV. Yeah, I don't remember that. And maybe way before my time. So anyway, I guess grandpa had gotten a piece out there, but so John Levi was breaking down that when you look at California City, and like I said, it's all these roads, uh the fam, I guess mom and my sisters and stuff, or I don't know exactly who, one of my sisters maybe, they had gone out there to go check it out and had trouble finding the actual lot and stuff like that. And yeah, they felt like they were in the middle of nowhere. But so John Levi's video was breaking it down. So when you look at it from above, it looks like almost like a computer chip. And since it's desert, he was theorizing that maybe something like, yeah, it looked like something had happened there, and like, but you still have this leftover grid looking thing there. And yeah, maybe I'll find that video and share that one out. But it was interesting. And now, so when you look at other places, especially in the deserts like that, that tend to have like towns and stuff like that, when you look at it from up above, uh, you might see something else. Might look like a computer chip or a grid of some sort. Pretty trippy. So, John, I think he's out in like Utah. He's out in the deserty, kind of deserty environment, off grid, and doing the damn thing. So super cool. Salute to him. There's Ontario airport looking all smoggy. Um, hmm Checking out some of the comments here. And yeah, so California City, who knows? Maybe it might become a thing. I heard there's like dispensaries now and things popping up, but I hear that they'll I ran into some guy at the shop and we're talking to California City came up and he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I lived out there and this and that." And he's like, "Yeah, I could help you find even the lots. I know how to do all that." He said he's helped people do that. And he was saying, I guess he had a place out there and he had put up a like, I don't know, a security gate. I don't know if it was like metal or what, but he said it was a pretty beefy one and they stole that. Oh yeah. Where's my boo? How about crickets with a sad face? Yeah, some places, yeah, a lot of places in Cali be like that. Even up north, you gotta be careful. People just take things. All right, done with the webcams there. Hope everyone had a good Thursday. It was a good one for me. Let's see. Where is our first article I want to look at? And it kind of mixed it up for me now. We had seen this. All right. It's going to be a red-headed black belt article. And I don't see it. It's going to take me a minute. So let's do this. We'll share this first. This was a channel that for some reason they had done a really good video called Strange Mendocino. Talked about it a lot. And it got into a bunch of cases, and a lot of them happen to be along the coast of Mendocino, certain towns there, Casper, Westport, Albion, Fort Bragg, of course. And okay, yeah, well, I'm using their site because there's some of the articles that I was looking at popped up on their site. So, doo-doo-doo. And so Beyond Creepy did a video on yeah, the Mendocino cases along the coast there. So it was pretty trippy. There's some weird ones. Some were, I think, later to be crime related. And oh, yeah, and they really stir up the pot up there, huh? Damn. Yeah, I can see that. Well, that's why it's good to be able to, jump on something like this in case you want to voice out your opinions. You could do that, or or start a website also, and start putting your views on there, huh? Only thing is having someone manage the website. And so yeah, I don't know. For some reason, they took it down that he took down that video. So I wonder, makes me wonder why. Maybe, and I asked, I had left a message years back, and it was a trip because it seemed like the video at first, it was on there for quite a while, and then it got like removed. It seemed I had trouble finding it, and then I was able to find it again, and then now it's completely gone. I can't find it at all. But y'all can find it. Hey, let me know, share it out, and check it out. It's a good one. And maybe drop a message over at Beyond Creepy and be like, hey, what happened to, we want that strange Mendocino video back and a part two, and maybe do a Humboldt County. Yeah, he has some good trippy videos if you're into the like the strange. There's a lot of different creatures and paranormal stuff that he does. Super cool channel there. So, and he's like, yeah, posts every so often. I think he was a little more active before. Maybe he's on a different platform doing different things, but peep that out. And there's Russell. Uh oh, whole paper mill just burned out a week. We're in Oregon. Where'd that happen at? Hope you're well, Russell. Yeah, there's still been fires breaking out. I heard up in Central California at some sort of plant that had caught fire before recently, something like that. I had heard. And let's see if we could pull up that last article that we seen the other night about the man over in the Whale Gulch area. And if we don't find it, we'll just go ahead and push forward on the next ones that. So once I was his case got in my radar, I was like, oh yeah, well he's right along the coast there, and I just started thinking, obviously, of that video, the strange Mendocino video, and then all the cases that I've looked into in the Mendocino area, and there's quite a few. And like I said, some are crime. They're and which is trippy because those towns there, you wouldn't think, a lot of them are real sleepy. I call them sleepy and pretty quiet for the most part. Here we go. There it is. Finally. There it is. So this is an update since the last article we've seen. And sorry, Julia. Redheaded black belt again. Search continues for missing Whale Gulch man as law enforcement and SAR search and rescue converges on remote area of the Lost Coast. And the Lost Coast actually, where would you say it begins? Is Shelter Cove, is it, Juliana? I believe if you're gonna hike it, I think you could start from Shelter Cove, or that's one end of it. And then it goes all the way up towards a little before Eureka. I'm not sure. I never hiked it, always wanted to. It's on the list. And the town, like Whale Gulch, I want to say, I don't know if we've driven through there or what, but there's a school also called Whale Gulch in the area. And he was last seen at the Whitethorn, which is another town nearby, post office. That's a view, I guess, of the car there. And I did read the article, and there hasn't been any major updates. They moved his age over to 84 now. They were saying 80, 82, but 84. So he's, up there in age. Anyone in the area, keep an eye out. Juliana. So this got me started, and I was like, oh, yeah. I started thinking of other cases along the coast there. And we'll get into a few that were new to me. I was thinking of the older cases, which actually I had trouble finding. I was like, man, and I was using a couple different search engines, which helped a bit. But yeah, I had to try different ways of wording things to try and bring up different links, and that was helping a bit as well. But yeah, it seems like a lot harder before. It seemed a lot smoother to try to find these things from this area. I don't know if that's a thing going on everywhere or what, but and whoops, see where am I at? And there's Hillbilly Herb. What up? Right on. Yeah, Lost Coast. I believe is Lost Coast. Have you heard of what is it? Plant therapy. I don't know if Mattold to Shelter Cove. Gotcha. And doesn't it go further up from Shelter Cove? I thought it went up for like up north more where you could go past, I guess what is it, Ferndale and all that. And I heard up to Eureka, but I guess I could be wrong. I don't know. I did pull up do have a map we'll check out here in a bit. Let's try the map out. So I think I have it on 360 here and can't move it from here. Let's see. Here we go. Hopefully y'all can see this in real time here. There's honeydew, ghetto birds rolling by. So I think I gotta go down this way. I'm trying to look for that whale gulch where the man lives, but I think he. So I don't know what. He's technically missing out of Whale Gulch and not Whitethorn. Last seen in Whitethorn. Yeah, I think I'm a little. I gotta go a little further up here. I'm getting a little more used to like using these maps and stuff. It's fun, but some some of y'all are really good at it. There we go. Whale Gulch School. And there's Whale Gulch right here. There we go. So right there, right near the coast there. And so it seems like I don't know. Quite a lot of people go uh, missing along the coast, and also inland, of course, but surprisingly along the coast also. And a lot of these areas are very, at least in my opinion, lonely. There's a lot of long stretches of beautiful loneliness, and there is some residential areas. See if we could zoom in a little more on Whale Gulch. Whoops. Yeah, so not far from the water there, and a beautiful area, I would imagine. I really like all these areas up here. And so that gives y'all more or less an idea of where we're talking about. Now zoom out to give you more of an idea of where we're at. See if I go back to 2D. All right, we're upside down. Uh-oh, how do I flip this? Anyway, we're looking at California upside down. There's San Francisco there in the Bay Area. So if you come down, you'll be going north. You'll see Fort Bragg there. That's pretty much the area there. Heading north of that, even south of Fort Bragg, is all Mendocino there. And Mendocino's it's a big county, really big county, just like Humboldt and some of the neighboring counties there. Part of the Emerald Triangle as well. And we'll tap back into this map later if need be. I'll get more practice with that. And I think John, I like John calls it when he zooms down into when he's using the maps. John Levi calls it dropping the man. So I got to get better at dropping the man there. Yep, abalone diving when it was legal. What is it illegal now? Or I thought it's legal. You just need to get tags, and you're only allowed. I think is it two per day, two abalone. They got to be to size. And there's been some gnarly abalone accidents along the Mendocino coast as well. There's been some drownings, and those waters get rough up there. Things happen. And looking at some of these cases here, you'll see, and we'll try to determine. Is it like natural? The ocean taking people? Is it something else happening up there along the coast? Maybe it's this type of activity is maybe normal around coastal areas. Let's see. So recently, there's been this case of this young lady here. Again, Juliana, cover your eyes. There's quite a few redheaded black belt articles that I'll be using tonight. DNA identifies body found off Mendocino coast as missing Fort Bragg woman. And Fort Bragg is like the bigger coastal town there as well, compared to all the other little towns. And let's read her case here. Authorities have identified a woman whose body was discovered in the waters off the Mendocino coast in April as Angela Giovanna Carrillo Palomar, a 29-year-old from Fort Bragg, California, through DNA analysis. As a press release issued by the Mendocino County Sheriff Office, the body was first reported on April 26, 2024, when MCSO, Mendocino County Sheriff's Office, deputies received a call about a possible human body floating south Fort Bragg. Local first responders included the California Department of Fish and Wildlife and California State Parks assisted in the recovery. Due to the challenging ocean conditions, the the how would you say that decadent was transported to Noyo Harbor During the initial coroner's investigation, deputies could not identify the body due to lack of distinguishing marks. However, based on clothing, the decedent was suspected to be an adult female. On May 1st, 2024, a coroner's investigative technician attended the autopsy where a DNA sample was obtained. The physical characteristics of the deceased matched a missing person report filed with the Fort Bragg Police Department on April 14th, 2024. With this potential lead, the sheriff's office collected familial DNA samples from the missing person's family for comparison. The samples were sent to the Department of Justice DNA lab in Richmond, California. On July 3rd, 2024, the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office Coroner's Division was notified that the DNA sample matched Angela, and the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office encouraged anyone with information related to this investigation to contact their dispatch center at 707-463-4086 to provide anonymous tips through the non-emergency tip line. They got a number for that as well. And so, just not much information on what may have happened there. But that was last year near the Fort Bragg area. Now, this one also popped up, and this is the Press Democrat. Uh, Here we go. Officials seek woman missing on Mendocino coast. The woman was planning to stay the weekend with a friend in the area of Hardy Creek, but hasn't been seen since Friday morning when she left her campsite, Mendocino County Sheriff's Office said. And this, I'm trying to see a date on this. It says authorities in Mendocino County were expected to continue their search Saturday for a woman who went missing while camping on the coast. Mendocino County Sheriff's Office issued a missing person alert for Rebecca Jones, 48, who had traveled to the coast to stay the weekend with a friend around. And then it's blurred out there. I think I gotta sign up for it. But yeah, I believe I looked into this. Several articles popped up on this one, and they had found. I read that they had found a body somewhat nearby the area where this lady went missing, but still hadn't been able to positively identify it. Maybe Juliana, you might know about this one here. I'm not sure. What up, Sav? Good to see you, bro. And I see the. Yep, it is common up there. Actually, out here down south here, we have a lot of cases along the coast here too. We just and you we hear about it, but I think just people don't. It's just another one of those things, and people move on. But up there, since it's like, of course, a lot slower pace compared to the big cities. Yeah, people could get away with it more, but at the same time, if it's happening frequently, I think it stands out. So, and if you're looking for it, I think if you're not, then you're not going to see it. But yeah, it could be something. Could it be something happening up there? Is it just accidents? We'll see. We'll check out some more cases here that I was able to come across. Like I said earlier, I was having trouble finding some of the older ones that uh I had heard about and that I remember. And like I said, some of it might be crime related and stuff. Like this one, for instance, it wasn't missing people, but people might recognize this area if they've seen. Believe they made a documentary out of this, and it was these two women that had a family of foster kids. They were from Oregon, and they drove down from Oregon and decided to drive off the coast here with everybody in there. And so that happened here along the coast there too. So just kind of some bad juju there, you know. It's kind of weird. Like, well, why did they? For me, I'm like, why did they choose that particular place out of all places? You know, drove down to California and decided to do that there. And beautiful stretch of coast. I like driving through there. And hmm, not sure what does touching on there, but I'll be posting up as much as the comments as I can there. Doing some multitasking here. Yeah, it's believe me, it's a little challenging trying to stay on top of like the comments as much as possible, and then keeping track over on this side and keeping track of the thoughts as well. Should give it a shot, wild man. Go live. You'd be good at it, I know. And let's see. I'm gonna have to jump around here really quick. There's this other one that I ran into, Mendocino Voice, and this is December 23rd, 2024. I believe the last three have all been, the last two were both 2024. This is 2024 also. Body found under Noyo Bridge. Matches the clothing and jewelry of missing Fort Bragg teen Roy Mora. There's a nice shot of the Noyo Bridge there. And there's also what it's the town of Navarro that's in the area there. And the other night we touched and we did a whole thing on like Bigfoot in Mendocino, and we were touching on some of the coastal areas. I shared an experience I had in the Albion area. We pulled up a throwback report that was out of the Albion area as well. And so it was super interesting, and I'm glad I got to share that. So I've had some experiences there along the coast there. What's up, Lovey Love? And I have trouble this one with this one. Yadia. Hope I said that right. I don't know. Is that what you're commenting on this one here with the young man? Who knows? I was gonna kind of I briefly read it, but I definitely put it up here because it was along the coast. And like I said, some of these are gonna be obviously maybe, you know, and there were some other articles that I ran into that there was people that were like, yeah, you know, mental health issues and wanted to hurt themselves and stuff like that. And I didn't really tap into those, but this one here, let's see, we'll read a little bit of it. It says Fort Bragg, California, 12/23/24. A body found under Noyo River Bridge Monday morning. Was wearing jewelry that belonged to missing teen Roy Mora. A press release from the Fort Bragg Police Department said Mora's mother identified the necklace. The press release said, police said the body was not uh, identifiable otherwise. An unidentified person found the body just after 8 a.m. Monday morning and called dispatch. Although officers who arrived could not identify the body, they noted the person was wearing the same clothes Mora was wearing when he disappeared. The area around the bridge had been searched dozens of times by law enforcement and volunteers. And it says here let me scroll up a little bit. And Wildman, I don't know how late you're staying up, but hang in there right quick. I'm gonna drop a little vid after this that you need to peep out. And we showed I also showed a little video clip the last time talking about my experience up there. I talked about the blue marble around the structures that were in the area. A lot of structures around this area here at these beaches. And Wild Man here, Sovereign Cosmic Wild Man is big on the structures as you can see his avatar there. It's a nice little teepee. It's actually it looks like a thick teepee there. And you could find more of those beach structures over on his channel that he finds here in Southern California. So is it the Sasquatches building these? I've done a lot of videos for those that don't know on these structures as well, up in these areas of Northern California, up in Mendocino, Humboldt, found some in Sonoma County as well, and up in Oregon and along the coasts there. So yeah, find them in the forests as well and in random places. And so is it something or is it nothing? Just people building these things. Wildman will have his thoughts, I'm sure, in the chat here. So let's see. Guys got the guitars going upstairs, nephews. The search has been going on for more than 2 weeks after Mora 15 disappeared following the December 7th lighted truck parade in downtown Fort Bragg. A barista at the Mendocino Cookie Company identified Mora's phone when a man living nearby in his car turned it into the coffee shop. She had seen it on the brochures around town and called the police. Police used that evidence, cell phone location, and other data to triangulate Mora's whereabouts. They tracked him entering Noyo Bridge shortly after the parade. His phone was found on the sidewalk of the bridge, but no camera showed him leaving, nor did police find evidence that cars slowed down on the bridge. And the article goes on there. So, yeah, pretty interesting. I'll have to look into this a little deeper just to see if there's anything else that pops up there. But yeah, check this one out. Seems a little weird, and there's the whole what is it? The sobering coincidence missing 411 phenomenon. Got to keep that in mind. And for those that don't know, we'll look that up. And could those things be happening up that way? There's a few cases that were featured. I think Politis featured them, and a few other channels that were a little further up in Humboldt County, and they were actually on. One was, I guess, it's near the bay because it was near the bigger towns up there. It was at the Arcata. What is it? Is it the marsh? The Arcata Marsh there, and there was some guys camping out, and one of them went missing, and we'll dive into that one as well. One of these nights, and when it happened, I did touch on it. I'm sure I did on a video for sure, because there was a few other cases. There was another one off the 101 freeway just not too far from there, and it happened not too long after this one particular one. So it was three guys. I think they were camping in that marsh area, and one guy went missing, and then it wasn't until his dad actually came to help with the search because I guess law enforcement didn't find him, and Pop started searching, and yeah, they found him all up in some weird wouldn't even say bushes, but it's some sort of really thick plant area in the marsh. And yeah, they thought it was one of those weird ones. I don't know if if he had water in the lungs or not, but yeah, it was a strange one. I thought, and there was talks of them maybe being on maybe on certain drugs and stuff like that. It could be a possibility. I think weird things do happen when people are intoxicated and stuff like that. Uh, and that goes on a lot of levels. They do cross Highway 101 there, and actually probably even down here, further down in certain areas. And I know way up north too, because 101 keeps going all the way up, and yeah, for the road crossing, the highway crossing there. Ooh, and here Juliana sharing a interesting comment there. You love got hunting, but I also had my hunting dogs with me. I was only, let's see, only less than 500 yards from finding a dead body on Big Lagoon one time. Whoa. I don't think I remember hearing about that. But speaking of the lagoons, remember when there was a whale stuck in one of the lagoons, right? And I think it ended up passing away. But so you might know who my friend is, who I first lived with in the Honeydew area. He actually, I think, he said he went out on a kayak and was like playing a flute for the whale and whatnot. And I think Lost Coast or one of them may have put it up on their site. But and that's the homie there. And Big Lagoon actually has two or a report of two Sasquatch. If you look it up, Big Lagoon, Humboldt County. Um, Two women were driving by on 101 and seen what they said were Sasquatch in the lagoon. Think like the knee deep or something like that. And if you think about it, now that I think about it, that's a trip because further up is wait, what is it? The lagoon is Trinidad's under the lagoons, not too far south of the lagoons, correct? And that's where I had my second sighting running across 101. There's been other sightings from that area as well. Um, that person was not lost at sea. Your dogs any closer would have been on it. Hmm. Poncho, disclosure of what, sir? And good to see you. You're not Ike tonight? Or is that you, or is that your clone or your doppelganger? So yeah, Big Lagoon, and then further up from Big Lagoon is one of my areas that I go to, and it's very yeah. Just keep those lagoons in mind, and that's there we found massive, like huge structures, small ones as well, but one of the bigger structures I've ever found, and it was like yeah, it's right in between fresh and salt water there. There's forest nearby. There's the elk up near that area. and actually next to this huge structure, I would go visit it quite a bit whenever I could. And there's actually some hills in that area. So you got the ocean, some fresh water nearby, these lagoons, and these hills that we were finding little things that were guiding us up into those hills, and found more little structure type activity, some interesting stuff going up that way. Good cover. And yeah, we'd find structures in those areas. And then so next to this big structure, I one time found an elk kill. So something was having some elk right around that area. So interesting spot there. And right around these reports too. Yeah, so we're back down in Mendo. So yeah, young man there, sad stuff. And here we go. More out of Mendocino. Here's the Mendo Forever Mendocino County News. Missing man found dead after apparent fall off Mendocino Coast cliff. Investigation going on, and this is May 18th, 2024. So again, another you know accident. It seems like the falling off of cliffs has been a thing. There's been several cases. One that stands out to me was the fireman Arcata, not no Arcadia. There I go mixing them up because we got Arcata up in Humboldt, but next to us out here we have Arcadia, and it was a firefighter. This made it to like the 411 type of cases, and they went camping here to the Los Padres National Forest. Him and another firefighter had their dog with them deep in the Sespe Wilderness, and it was nighttime. The dog had taken off running from camp, and the firefighter Mike Herdman went running after it, and never came back. And his partner went looking for him for a bit, couldn't find him, and eventually made the 3-day hike out to go get help. And when they came back, there was a big search for several days, couldn't find anything. And eventually he was found at the bottom of a cliff. And when he took off after the dog, he was barefoot. And yeah, they thought it was strange and how he got so high up in elevation, and then ended up at the bottom of this weird cliff area. And we've heard of several other cases like that were like, I guess, 411 cases. A lot of you don't believe in the phenomena, or maybe do a little bit. We question it all here. But I think there is something strange going on with all those types of cases. Is it all the same thing? No, I don't think so for the most part. But or it could be at the source the same thing, but maybe uh performing in different phenomena. If that makes any sense there. And here we go, Wild Man commenting on Michael Herdman. That case was up in Politis's book, was in 2014. Yes, SB Wilderness up in that area that was surrounded by places with the name devil in it. Ah, yeah, was that another one? Yep, I think there might have been some devil references there. We have actually gone camping recently into the Sespe Wilderness there, Los Padres National Forest, and that's where Tate Hieronymus got his thermal footage of who knows what. Was it a Bigfoot? Not sure, but you could check that out over on his channel. And he was on, actually, what was it, the night before, where I was talking about Robert Leiterman, the ex retired Humboldt County forest ranger. And it was funny, later on that night, and Tate had jumped into our chat. And I don't know if he was trying to let me know that he was going to be on with Robert or not. I didn't get that message there, but after I was done with the live stream, I got the notification and it was Robert Leiterman and Tate Hieronymus. So I shared that in my posts there. Check that out. You could hear from Robert, who's very knowledgeable and is from up in this area here that we're diving into. So let's see here. Mendocino County Sheriff deputies were summoned to assist California State Parks officers in attempting to locate a reported missing person in the area of the Jug Handle State Park south of Fort Bragg, California. And gives an address there, North Highway 1. State Parks personnel located a vehicle in the parking lot of Jug Handle State Park that was reportedly parked at the location for several days. And that's a theme that I've also noticed up in this area along the coast and inland as well. But is that a lot of times, if, the cars are left, and sometimes, or most of the time, on the stranger cases, the belongings are left behind, wallets and things of importance. Um, and I don't know if that's the case here. I'm kind of reading this with you for the first time as well, but I just seen that it was along the coast here up in Mendocino. So let's see what it says. Jug Handle State Park that was reportedly parked at a location for several days. The vehicle registration returned to Gregory Noyes of Point Arena, and Point Arena will come up again. It was a trip. Something trippy happened with me today with Point Arena, and Point Arena is in along the Mendocino coast, and that's where the case of Asha Kramer, which was a weird one that I've talked about, and we're going to continue to talk about, and so we'll bring that up again here. Point Arena, California. Noyes had been reported missing on 5/5 or 5/15/24. So another 2024 to the Marin County sheriffs. And I don't know why Marin County. Marin County's a little above San Francisco. So that's of maybe like two counties away, Sonoma County. And then it's Marin Sheriff's Office. Let's see, where he was reported to have been traveling to on 5/12/2024. Noyes had not been heard from since 5/12/2024 when he was reportedly traveling. Oh, so he was traveling to Marin. Sheriff deputies conducted a hasty search of the Jug Handle State Park with state parks officers and quickly located a large brimmed hat. Oh, so this is the gentleman, yeah, that went over the cliff. Large brim hat resting on the cliff edge where the park reaches the Pacific Ocean. The body of a white male adult subject was located approximately 50 feet below the cliff edge on the rocks below. And it goes on there. So, yeah, I'm fortunate there. Scary, older man there. So you never know. And along the coast there, I would imagine it gets windy. I know it gets windy in a lot of those areas. And could that have been an accident? Could something had, maybe he felt sick or something and just fell over. But I don't know. Quite a bit happening along the coast there. Once again, 2024, it seems like. And Wild Man, since you're right here, we were talking about that. No, the bridge earlier, that case with the teenager, and let's see, I had a video that I also dug up over on YouTube really quick, and I'm not sure if it's the case with the teenager, but let's see if we could pull this up. And so, just a heads up, a warning here. Uh, this video is titled Mendocino County Sheriff's Retrieve Body from Underneath. And so, heads up, y'all. I don't know how graphic this is going to be, but I noticed a few things. Keep your eyes peeled. And I think the video's short enough to where I could play it, but I might pause it maybe a little into it. Let's see. All right, let me play it. So Mendocino County sheriffs retrieve body from underneath Fort Bragg's the Noyo Bridge. So again, I don't know. Let's see. When was this posted? No, this is a throwback here. It looks like it's from several years ago. Give me a second. Yeah, 4 years ago. All right. So this is not the obviously not the teenager or any of the cases we're talking about. And they're pulling a body from here. So heads up. And here we go. Let's see. And there's no audio. I'm not playing any audio there. And Wildman, are you still in here? And for all you structure heads, keep an eye out here. See, I should enlarge this too. I thought that was pretty trippy. Well, hope you seen that, Wild Man. I was definitely thought of you when I seen that. And then let's see what's next here. All right. Maybe that sound is a little ASMR for some of you, not annoying. All right, Mendel forever. Mendocino County News: missing Oakland woman found alive after 3 days lost on the Mendocino coast. And this is May 23rd, 2024. So another 2024 situation here. And whoops, sorry, I wasn't sharing that. And luckily she was found, and from what I read, she was found in good condition. I don't know if that's her picture there after the situation, but she looks great. Thank goodness, a happy ending to this situation here. But yeah, 3 days up in the woods and right near the coast there. Let's see, on 5/23. We got to look at the other dates to see how far apart some of these uh, cases are from each other too. I'd be interested in looking at that. Yeah, I don't know, Wild Man. I don't know, brother. I haven't get that video, man. And I could share that if you want. I could tag you with it, but I'm sure you got the name of it. And I'm just really glad you're here tonight to check that out, bro. I don't know. I just thought you'd find that interesting. And keep in mind, that there's a lot of spots around there that I could take you to, and I'm sure we could find stuff there. Uh, yeah, something about Mendocino, and I'll bring this up again. Something interesting about Mendocino County. So there's a big Bigfoot channel out there. Uh, boom, there we are. And it's been in hot water lately. There was some stuff that they posted that really got people questioning and stuff. And I since then haven't really followed much and stuff. But I used to follow religiously, and it's Ontario Sasquatch. Some of you know, y'all know Ontario Sasquatch, right? And what's interesting is he's from Canada, but there was someone that he knew in Mendocino that had invited him to California, and they went out and they had, I guess, some experiences up in the Mendocino National Forest. And he mentioned that he had more of a dog man type of experience there. Yeah. I was able to ask him about it and stuff. And there was also a video that he shared from his trip to Mendocino, and they're driving along the road. I don't know what road it is, and there's a bunch of, like, trees and stuff and bushes along the side of the road. And you see, and it looked like good video to me. I thought it was pretty impressive, but maybe someone could break it down further. Maybe you've seen this video before, but it's of what looks like a subject, like a black, possibly a Bigfoot. And of course it's kind of blurry, right? And it's like it's flickering through the trees. And it reminded me very much of my first sighting, where I talk about it, is seeing it flickering through the trees. And like, talk about it looked like a children's flip book, those flip books that you would flip and the whole cartoon would play out, something like that. And so I think you could still find that video on his channel. It's pretty old, that one, but that was supposedly in Mendocino as well. So, and yeah, Mendocino has some weird stuff. There's been some, UFO reports, and of course, little people up in the Yoli Bolis, and anyone else out there with more. Oh, I've heard of, like, mermaids as well, but I seen that Mendocino has this group called the Mermaids, and I think they do like beach cleanups and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, right, Juliana. I've never really heard much. The only case that I can remember of Dogman Report is that of Jedediah State Park, and I've remixed the video that uh, what was his name? Matt Squatch. Matt Squatch used to be a big channel on YouTube covering Bigfoot and all this stuff. He had done a video on it, and there's a picture, and just like a lot of the Bigfoot stuff out there, it's just like a silhouette that looks like a dog man, looks like a, dog headed subject with pointy ears, and it's not the best. But supposedly up at Jedediah, I don't know. Um, yeah, so this guy fortunately went over the cliff here. We got a few more to share. Let's see what else we got here for the coast of Mendocino. I think this is the same one here. Let's check this out. Oh no, this is a different one here. And let's close this little window right quick. So the Sacramento Bee, and it's California. And this one is actually a little further back. It's June 14th, 2023. And 38-year-old man vanishes after fall off cliff into Pacific Ocean. California cops say. And then here we got a 30-year-old man is missing after falling off a cliff into the Pacific Ocean in Mendocino County, California. Authorities say a search for a man who plummeted off a Mendocino County cliff into the Pacific Ocean has been suspended. California sheriff's official reported a 38-year-old man fell a great distance from a cliff near Big River Beach at 8:15 p.m. Saturday, June 10th. The Mendocino County Sheriff's Office said in a news release. The onlooker reported seeing the man who appeared unresponsive floating face down in the water. Sheriff's officials said firefighters in a boat and U.S. Coast Guard helicopters searched for the man but could not find him. The sheriff's office said. Search efforts continued the next day with a drone. Official said, excuse me. Authorities suspended the search after failing to find the man. So another one of those cliff falling situations there. And a wild man, if you're still in here, what's the I'm sure you probably know. There's these entities that are supposedly known to hang out on the cliffs on the coast of I believe it's Central California somewhere. There's a specific name for these entities. They might be like some sort of shadow beings. Maybe someone out there from Cali knows, or some real hardcore paranormal cryptid heads out there. Where y'all at? Let's see here. The village of Mendocino. It's a trippy. Any time of day or night, there's an alarm that rings when someone falls off. Oh, there's an alarm that rings when someone falls off the cliff. Sounds like a bombing raid siren. Trip out. So, you're. Oh yes, sir. The Dark Watchers. You've seen one, huh? I bet you have, Wild Man. And I knew you'd know that. Anyone ever heard of the Dark Watchers? Yeah, but you can look. I'm sure if you look it up, you'll find some stuff on YouTube there. Or there you go, at the Battle Dark Watchers. Right on. Thank you, Wild Man. And I don't know, that just for some reason comes to mind. Uh, try to think of all the possibilities. Of course, I've recorded some strange lights off the coast there. One of the times, because we used to get Airbnbs right there on the Mendocino coast, on the coast, Albion. And yeah, super cool spot to chill. Actually, we got a clip. This one time, I think we might have been, usually we would be celebrating a birthday or celebrating something.
I know, me too.
But this time we were well watching. Just a heads up, uh, I don't know what we might be saying on this clip, but yeah, we had the fam out chilling with the queen, and we're well watching here. The whales were going by, and right there you can see how it drops off into cliffs there. So we're right on the coast on this particular property, and that's Mendocino, right in these areas we're talking about there. And every time I'd go out, I'd keep this. There was a weird vibe there. I'd pick up on the vibe. And I bet, and I seen some of the places are haunted there. Some of the old, I think, hotels and stuff like that. The town of Mendocino is really beautiful as
I
well.
surrender.
I think there's even been
Surrender
like
door.
reggae events, little reggae events in the town, small town of Casper. And yeah, I've gotten to hang out in these areas. And on this
It's like
trip,
watching.
had a lot of fun on that trip. Look, we even found speaking of the abalone, found the abalone shell. Little share there. Evidence that BD's gone there. And so yeah, I'd always go with that, with that in mind, what's going on here, because I already was aware of cases and things going on along the coast there, and just yeah, being living in Humboldt, you already know there's strange stuff happening, right? So always keep that in mind when I go to these places, and yeah, fill out the vibe, see if I pick up on anything, any anomalies. And I've had some I'll say I've had some episodes where yeah, I'd be walking some of those streets late at night and just kind of tripping out and wondering and yeah, think about those cases and stuff and just yeah, makes me wonder still. Gotta head back up there soon. It's mandatory. We'll be back up that way and we'll be looking into all this stuff. And I'm sure there's videos you'll find on the channel here of Mendocino. There's more stuff definitely. And let's see, well, we're on a roll here sharing these cases. Let's see what's next. And of course we have the Anderson Valley Advertiser. And then they have an article here: unsolved deaths and disappearances on the Mendo coast. Yeah, Mendo for short. Um, and so yeah, it gets into a lot of the crime and disappearances. And so you see, it's a thing for them to even write about it. And Anderson Valley got to hang out there, talked about the world music festival they would have there. We'd camp out 3 days party. We'd camp out at the Anderson Valley Brewery. They had the farting, fainting goats, which is probably you probably like those farting goats. Wild man, you ever check them out? Dwarf farting, fainting goats. All right, next up. And I don't think I read the date on that last one. Maybe I did. Let's see here. This is Press Democrat. Did we pull this one again? I think we pulled another Press Democrat uh, article. But here we got human remains found along Mendocino coast, determined to be man missing since 2018. The remains were found about a quarter mile from where the man's abandoned Jeep was found along Highway 1. And this one is, I mean, I don't know if his death is criminal, but it started as a criminal situation. I believe he was being chased by CHP, California Highway Patrol. And I guess they lost him. Let's see, human remains found along the Mendocino coast earlier this month have been determined through dental records to be a missing man last seen in 2018 while fleeing from CHP officers investigating his apparent involvement in a hit and run crash, Mendocino County Sheriff's Office said. Lewis Compton, Lewis Compton of Westport, 44 of Westport. Westport's one of those little towns, I'm telling you. Had not contacted family or friends since the daytime collision on November 13th, 2018. Authorities said Compton fled from CHP officers investigating the crash before he abandoned the Jeep he was driving on the side of Highway 1. Family reported him missing to the county sheriff's office 6 days later, but deputies chose not to search for him. Okay. Out of concerns that he may be armed and running from police, the agency said. Hmm. Okay. The sheriff's office received a call on March 7th from a man who said he found human remains, clothing, and shoes about a quarter mile from where the Jeep was found. A pathologist who examined the bones days later could not determine how the man died. Mendocino County Sheriff's Office, or Sheriff's Captain, sorry, Gregory Van Patten said. That was interesting one there. And I didn't get. Oh yeah, I was saying 2018 is when that all went down there. So that's quite a while back, but not too far. And what did the woods? I mean, what happened there? Looks like he went in and never came back out of those woods, and it's happened several times actually. And I'll be hopefully tapping on those cases soon. And let's see here. This is a little bonus. You know, we've been talking about the coast area out here, off the coast, the Malibu structure that's out there, possibly an ET base, some claim. And speaking of all that, check this out. Strange shaped sea mountain discovered off the coast of Cape Mendocino, and I believe it's technically Humboldt County, but that looks like what is that, lidar or something? And I think they had some ships out there that detected this. The seamount was found about 100 nautical miles west of Cape Mendocino in Humboldt County. And it's interesting also because recently they also found what were they calling it? Like a volcano under the ocean right off the coast of southern Oregon there, I think southern or mid Oregon, somewhere in Oregon there. And they say that that might be possibly erupting at some point soon. Always got to put that fear on us, huh? Asteroids, volcanoes, and you name it. Anything to keep you scared. But I know y'all ain't scared, right? Y'all ain't scared. So yeah, a little interesting, something to keep in mind. Yeah, because the ocean is right there. So the water, USOs come to mind, of course, sea creatures. And you know what's another thing? What it, what are y'all known for up there? And this just came to mind earlier. And I was like, yeah, well, USOs, different, maybe ETs, Bigfoot, all the usuals, right? The usual suspects. But then I was thinking, oh yeah, the coast also you get the fog. And I was like, oh yeah, the fog. Hmm. Emoji. San Andreas goes. We are touche. Yeah, what else? We got the what is it? The trifecta right off the coast there too, right? I'm sure Mendocino is has part of the trifecta. Is like what, three plates off the coast of Humboldt County. That's why y'all got that 7 point shaker earlier last year, right? Oof. Noted, says Hillbilly. Rolled and ready. Fired up. Yeah, Hillbilly, tonight I got a couple new flavors that I'm messing with. They're, I think, some nerds or something like that. Came in the stupid packaging. I was kind of like in my head, kind of going off about some of the packaging out here. And I usually don't even get my stuff in packaging. It was a gift. And so I was like, all right, yeah, I'll get some of the, stuff in package. And it was nice. One of them was nice. This blue cookies, not so nice. I think they got, seems like a lot of spider mite issues. And it's just things that I pick up on. Most people would be like, oh, this is great. But whatever, I'm being a little snobby. But yeah, it's nice. And got a bunch of other flavors too. That you know how we roll. We gotta keep several flavors, several different varieties to keep the brain nice and happy. What else we got? I think we got some more, y'all. This is I thought I was gonna be like at the third case and like, all right, we're done. And but this is turning out to be a lot more than I thought here, and earlier I was mentioning Asha Kramer, and we'll be touching on. We got to do a deep one on this one. I'll need help. I would appreciate some help. And this one is a tough one, super sad, but we'll bring this up because I felt like, and there she is. At oh man, also beautiful picture. Oh no, stop sharing. Give me a second, y'all. Let me pull this baby back up. 1 second. And we were talking Point Arena Mendocino earlier, and we talked about her. I've talked about her case as much as possible, throughout the years when she comes to mind, and it's the Asha Kramer case. And this happened several years back. We touched on it, like I said, and basically went missing out off the coast of Mendocino as well in the Point Arena, Punto Arena area. And kind of mysteriously, there's a whole thing, a lot of information on the case. And there's been some updates. She still hasn't been found. And I've talked about how her mom comes out from Australia pretty much every year to come look for her. And she's been featured on the Murder Mountain documentary. And I'm sure she's done at this point maybe some podcasts, I would imagine. But got to speak to her, and yeah, we'll dive into this one of these nights, do a full night on her case. And what was trippy is that last night I was getting all this together, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll feature Asha again briefly, because she's on the coast. Her case is on the coast there. And right now I don't know. I've never really been to Point Arena. I've maybe driven through, but I don't think so. It's possible. But I want to go check it out, especially to go see where this happened because she went missing. Going in, and Garrel from Midwest Night Watchers had mentioned that uh people going missing from restrooms, or like going to a restroom, was a thing too, which is I gotta check that out. And I don't doubt it because I know of a couple cases that were in the 411 phenomenon where someone was going to the restroom. I was like, oh wow, yeah, I think he's right about that. And she was going to a restroom. She was at a restaurant with friends. She was having some issues, mental issues, and stuff like that, which is something to consider. And she never came back out. They don't know where she could have gone. There's all these different theories and stuff. And what was trippy was, so I know people up north still. I keep in touch. I still have a 707 number. You know, yeah, Juliana, I still got it. Still got a 707. I rep that 707 area code. And I got a call today, and you're gonna trip out because when I think of Point Arena, I think of Asha. And check this out. I got a phone call. I was at the shop. It was around what, maybe noon or so. Oh no, almost noon. Look, we got a timestamp here with this, y'all. Let's see if the camera picks this up. Or we'll exit here. See that? Ooh, 11:11 a.m. And I get a call from a 707 number, which is NorCal, could be Mendocino, and it's a call. I'm sorry that the camera's not picking it up. It's a call. Let's get closer. Call from Point Arena, California. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, hold on. I wasn't sure. I was like, do I answer? I usually don't answer, Bigfoot don't answer no, answer no uncalled number. And I, and I said that in patois because there was an artist called Busy Signal. His name is Busy Signal. He's from Jamaica, and he was up in Humboldt performing at the Reggae and the River festival one year, and he was doing. He has a song called. I think the song something. The chorus is like he don't answer no unknown number, and at one point he switched it up to Bigfoot no answer no unknown number. And I remember being at that show, and I was like, "What?" People were going crazy too when he mentioned Bigfoot. It made me wonder, like, what did they tell him about the Sasquatch performing up in Humboldt? Just had to throw that out there. But yeah. So this made me think. I was like, Point Arena, 11:11. I thought Ash. Yeah, I need to talk on Asha today. That's just what came to mind. I thought maybe for some of you maybe that doesn't make any sense, but for me, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll mention you for sure." This is trippy. All right. And I will be sharing one particular case, I think, towards the end here. And let's see. Oh, this is Haunted Places, Mendocino. Sorry about that. Let's see. I thought I had something here. Yeah, one pretty bizarre one at the end we'll share here. And this is a little more inland. We're going to do a 101 Highway 101 series of Mendocino and Humboldt County, uh, and maybe even further up. But let's see, this was a criminal one. At first, it was pretty mysterious. Another redheaded black belt article here, and remains of missing man found 14 years after he disappeared in Mendocino County. This was along the coast as well. So for a long time, this man was missing. And I remember hearing about all this. And at first, they had no idea. And then they had some clues, some suspects. And then I guess after all that time, they eventually found a body. But I believe, I want to say there is some other players involved and possibly some other bodies also involved and maybe not being found. And this gentleman was found actually not too far from where he lived. And yeah, there was a whole thing about property and I think horses were being involved and other things. And yeah, along the coast there, it's more of a criminal situation here. But yeah, it was pretty mysterious when I first heard about it. And this did make that strange Mendocino video put out by Beyond Creepy. So I did tack that one on there, but and I would still look into that case. I got to check it out again. I remember looking into it when I first heard about it, and yeah, you get a lot of these types of cases up there. Again, Murder Mountain comes up. I know a lot of people, especially locals, aren't happy about that term, and just that documentary was made as well, and whatever. It happens. It happens in a lot of places away from those areas as well. We get a lot of that stuff happening out here, especially with a lot more growers out this way too, in the deserts and in the mountains here. Even in the city, you got a lot of the indoor grows and all that. But yeah, things have changed since the legalization up there, down here as well. But yeah, it seems a lot of growers out here in SoCal now. And really quick, I got another YouTube video to share out of Mendocino. And Juliana, if you're still in here, again, this is going to be graphic, but maybe people that have farms and stuff like that or deal with animals might be able to tell. But this video is supposedly an animal mutilation in Mendocino. And I won't play the video really. I'll just maybe show parts of it. or we could do it, yeah, without so graphic, heads up. Maybe you could tell if it really is like one of those mutilation type deals. Maybe I don't see blood really. And the lady, when you listen to her, she explains what she feels is going on, and why she why she feels that way. But yeah. So some of this may be going on. Juliana, I think you shared. Is this going on up in the in the Bolt, up in the Bolt also, or are the strange animal mutilations happening? Maybe she got back to farm thugging. She's always busy with the farm animals there. Juliana, or maybe someone else. Some of you can maybe tell. I don't know. And maybe if someone from the Mendo area or knows the area, maybe have experienced some of the weird mutilations and stuff. I don't think I ever have really, as far as like the like livestock, maybe certain types of other animals I've found kind of weird. Like, uh, and maybe we'll when I remember we'll mention it. But yeah, so this is also in Mendocino. And then this is another trippy one. So this is the town of Casper. We were talking about Casper earlier, also on the coast there. And here comes the train, all aboard. All right. This one also made that strange Mendocino video, and I had to dig for this. This is one of the hard ones to find, and you can see it's on the Mendocino sheriff's site there. Even it being on the site made it difficult. I had to use a little detective work for this one. But yeah, Chad Richard Kirkendall on May 29th, 2004. So this is a while back. And again, you could look up Casper, California, super tiny town, if you even want to call it that. Um, at approximately 1800 hours, Chad Richard Kirkendall left his Casper, California residence located in the 42,000 block of Casper Little Lake Road. Kirkendall left the residence in his roommate's vehicle, with his destination being a mailbox located a short distance from the residence. Kirkendall failed to return to the residence after an hour, and the roommate initiated a search, which resulted in the vehicle being found in a ditch on Road 408 near the Woodlands camp. Investigators recovered Kirkendall's shoes. So I don't know what he took off without shoes. You know, that's one of those 411 missing 411 red flags with the vehicle that appeared to have been crashed into the ditch. Through invest through investigations, it was learned a person matching Kirkendall's physical description had been provided a ride by a Woodlands camp employee to the general area of the Mendocino Elementary School soon after the crash. A search and rescue operation was conducted of the vehicular crash site, and Kirkendall was not located. At this time, the current whereabouts of Kirkendall are unknown. So, what happened to Chad here? And again, you know, you get those a lot of those cases where cars are either like found crashed like that. I think there's a few more that I haven't found from the coast that are very similar to this. You know, cars found abandoned, and Yeah, where could he have gone to? Not, I mean, in the ocean, in the woods, or did he just change identities and start a new life somewhere? I don't know. And let's see. This is going to be another recent one, I believe. Redheaded black belt. Uh, yep. So this is October 30th, 2024. So we're back to the 2024 streak here of incidences along the Mendocino coast. Missing man's car found in Mendocino County. And here we go. Kojo and the Infinity. And that's the picture up there. Let's see. And it reads the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office is currently assisting the Anaheim. So that's out here, Orange County, right under LA. Anaheim Police Department in attempting to locate Kojo, no last name. Kojo is described as a 59-year-old African American male adult, approximately 5'9, 170 pounds, with black hair, brown eyes. See above photograph. Kojo was last seen in Anaheim, California on 6/26/24. It's believed Kojo was going to Yosemite National Park, which is the missing 411, like ground zero, for the weekend and planned to return on 6/29/24. However, Kojo did not return and has not been heard from since. Family has attempted to contact his cell phone, but the phone goes straight to voicemail. On 8/16/24, the California Highway Patrol located Kojo's vehicle, 2009 Black Infiniti M35, on State Route Highway 128, Navarro, California. There goes Navarro again. And I remember a subscriber, I had a YouTube subscriber that lived in the Navarro area and talked about his Bigfoot experiences around that area. So just wanted to put that out there. Not saying it has anything to do with this, but that's, I think of that when I think of Navarro as well. And a few miles east of Paul Dimmick campground, an initial search of the area was conducted, but Kojo was not located. Additional searches of the area where Kojo's vehicle was located have been conducted with search and rescue personnel, but did not yield investigative leads, and Kojo remains missing. Anaheim Police Department is currently investigating leads into the whereabouts of Kojo. If anyone has seen Kojo or has information regarding his whereabouts, please contact the Mendocino County Sheriffs at 707-463-4086. And they got the tip line there. And I'm sure you could reach that same number for any of these cases that we're talking about tonight if you have any information. And yeah, there is several more here. And a good night to anyone checking out here, or a good night to anyone checking in. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us here. And we'll go on. It's a little more criminal there. I'll maybe show that a little later. Here we got a little further up. So we'll probably stop around here soon because we could go a whole night on the coast here. But going further up on the coast, north of Mendocino, then eventually it turns into Humboldt County. We're talking about the Lost Coast and the trail there, and it's a gnarly. From what I heard, it's a gnarly trail. You got to know how to time the waves because you're hiking along the beach also, and I hear it gets pretty like rough terrain, some hills and stuff around there, and Yeah, so this one was July 1st, 2024. And this one made the 411. This one made Politis's Can Am Missing Project channel on YouTube. And yeah, let's get into this. This is, I don't look at borders because, you got Mendo and Humboldt there that, phenomenon will be separated because they're two different. Nah, this stuff goes across borders. And yeah, so, just a little further up, another huge county, Humboldt, just I want to say maybe they have the same amount of coastline, maybe more, maybe less, but a whole lot of coastline there. And so the coastline continues on up. And here, the hiker who was found injured on the Lost Coast Trail last week is recovering and thankful for his rescuers. And this one was a weird one because this guy was solo hiking on the Lost Coast Trail here, and I'll briefly break it down. Maybe we'll do a deep one on this one. But let's see. Almost a week after being discovered with severe injuries and memory loss, which I hear is a thing also, right? With the 411 phenomenon, along the Lost Coast Trail, Sashank, and the last name is going to be a tough one. Upad Yayula is still trying to piece together what happened to him. A 34-year-old first time backpacker from San Jose was found hypothermic and covered in blood by a group of 16s and two camp counselors on the morning of June 25th. The two adults dressed some of his wounds and called for helicopter rescue by satellite phone, luckily. And there's a couple cases that I also have lined up that we're at. I think we might have touched on already out of the Mendocino. Oh no, here we go. We're gonna touch on them here. So there's gonna be these two other cases from the Lost Coast also, where they had a call for rescue and they all had the emergency rescue beacons. Sorry, I didn't have that screen share going there. But yeah, luckily these guys had that satellite phone because definitely in that area you're not gonna have service. So good to see that that came into play. And let's see here. It says, and I'm not going to say Upa Dayalula told the outpost in an email that he has wounds on his arms, torso, and throat, and shared what he can remember of the moments before and after he was injured. At 10 p.m. on Monday, June 24th, I remember hearing something being scared and removing my bear spray, my two knives, water reservoir, and my electronics. Upaya, Upad Yayula said. Next, he can recall, and our boy Oop woke up in the surf. So he did all that, pulled all that stuff like he described there, and then suddenly just woke up on the surf. Made my way to the trail and collapsed after getting my mylar blanket. I covered my torso with the blanket and assumed fetal position to retain heat. He was found at he was found around 9 a.m. the next morning. Let's see, we could go a little further down on that. The doctors believe it was a knife or bladed weapon, Upa said, with my lack of memory because my knives are missing and how I was separated from my pack and found quite a distance away. It all points towards me being attacked. So, dude claims to be attacked by something, by what? They don't describe, he doesn't describe, and he just woke up on the sand. is what it sounds like. So kind of weird. And again, this one made the 411 list, and you could get into that further there. They get into the Kings Mountain Range. I've talked about that when I lived on Honeydew. We had a beautiful view of the Kings Mountain Range there. Very familiar with that mountain range. Been on it a few times. Never fully hiked it. Gotta go do that one day too. And we're just always too busy to, always busy working to try to get out and do like several day hikes at the time. But hopefully one day. But yeah, check out this case if you're interested in some of the weirder ones. This is one of the weirder ones there. And yeah, it doesn't stop fruiting this Mendocino coast here with these missing persons cases. And maybe some of you out there will be doing some digging of your own into some of these cases. Maybe bring us back some interesting information that we maybe missed or didn't. Maybe wasn't mentioned, or 'cause there's always more information. I believe this is a quick map of the Lost Coast. There gives you an idea. Has some points there, and there's Shelter Cove. So yeah, it does start under Shelter Cove there, and it continues on up. It looks like. So, like I said, it might go all the way up to Eureka. And for bigfooting, I would definitely check that out as well. That's what I would go for sure. Some wilderness next to the ocean. And here we got, let's see. Yeah, Lost Coast. One person killed after hikers swept out to sea along northern California coast. And that's one of those things that, again, you got to know the timing of the tides. And that happens quite a bit, even at known beaches up there. Sometimes you'll get those sneaker waves, and it's happened. And we've seen full families of. I remember one case. It was up, I think above, it was above the lagoon somewhere up there. I think maybe Patrick's Point State Park or one of those beaches around there, where a family. I think the dog went in first, and then the dad went in, and it was a trip one after another, and then I think one of the children survived, and I think the rest of the family all got swallowed up. Scary stuff for sure. Gotta respect that ocean. You're out there like Agate Beach. You gotta be careful. We call it Butt Beach, and that's at Patrick Points. People out there picking agates, and so you got you're looking down, got your butt up in the air. Gotta remember to watch your back. And also, really quick, along the Lost Coast, there was also this incident. This one was 2024. Missing hiker returns relating encounter with aggressive bear on the Lost Coast. So definitely bears along that way. And I hear they got those little food caches and stuff like that. And so it's a pretty serious hike. And yeah, this guy describes his encounter with the bear there. Luckily, he had some bear spray and put it to use. So is that what maybe happened with that other guy? I think I don't know. Probably would have remembered it was a bear, but if maybe he was knocked unconscious or something, maybe it might have wiped his memory, or just being afraid of the situation made him forget. Who knows? Or did he run into something else? Here's another quick redheaded black belt. Also on the Lost Coast there. Coasties rescue 3 hikers from the Lost Coast. And I've talked about a family that when we were out living in Southern Humboldt, good family friends of ours that were living up there in the hills, also well known in the community. And they were actually East Coasters, a lot of East Coasters up there. The father wasn't there that night. I don't know. He wasn't there because I think he might have been hanging with us, and the family had gone to the Lost Coast earlier that day and ended up getting in trouble themselves and had a call for rescue. And then we got the call, and we're like, "Oh shoot!" And so he had to immediately get out there, and luckily they were all okay too. And I think I had ran into their article, but it didn't give details for me to confirm that it was them. So I didn't share that. But yeah, yeah, close call there on the Lost Coast with people we know as well. So, and another one here, U.S. Coast Guard rescued 4 hikers from the Lost Coast Trail yesterday. And so that this one's throwback. There's been, situations there in the past for sure. And some of them have been strange. And some of those, again, I wasn't able to find. So give me some time. I'll dig them up. And we're getting close, y'all. We're getting close. Let's see what else we have. I have a real trippy one that's a little more inland for the end. All right. So stay tuned for that one. Another redheaded black belt. And this is in more or less near the town. There's a town, Petrolia. And interesting little town there. We used to drive by there a whole lot when we were going from Honeydew and wanted to go around through the coast. You could either go through the redwoods and up Highway 101 or go through the coast and go through the town of Petrolia. Petrolia, they actually have their own coins there called patols. They have their own money. And should be sharing the screen there. Sorry about that. And the body found in February. This is back in 2018 also. Quite a few that were in 2018 that we pulled tonight. Identified as missing person Hannah Hammer. And yeah, no major details, just that she was found at the Matol Beach, and that's where Juliana was describing uh the beginning possibly of the Lost Coast Trail there. And I have been to that beach before, partied there, acting wild that day, had some river showers in the river. We went to the beach. Out in Honeydew, people know Honeydew for sure if you hung out on the bridge. And you got the river going through there, and yeah, some good times there. But yeah, this lady was found by a hiker and no details. They said, let's see, Hammer's official cause and manner of death are undetermined at this time. And like so many cases, you never ever hear follow-ups. So you kind of left that this is it. It makes you wonder what really happened there. And I remember some other cases that happened out in that area. And it was some people that this I think a guy decided to take his own life. And yeah, some other interesting stuff that's happened along that Matol area there, more crime related. We'll probably save that for some other night. But yeah, along once again, another case of death and missing and along the coast there. What is happening? I'm wondering. And yeah, let's see really quick. Another Mendo Forever conjecture. And this is related to some other stuff that was going on. I remember when this was happening, and I guess there's some stuff happening in the Central Valley that they were trying to tie to some uh deaths of some ladies that were happening almost back to back at the time. I remember the thoughts, people were mentioning a serial killer, and they were trying to tie it to some case out in the valley. I mean, the Central Valley of California too. Who knows? And there's several types of these possible serial killers up in this area. We'll save that for the crime night, I guess. We'll have to come up with a name for it. But yeah, so this last one, a little more inland, very bizarre as we come up to the 2 hour mark here. Damn, we really hung out tonight, y'all. It's super cool. I appreciate y'all sharing your time with me. And Here we go. Red-headed black belt once again, and this is more inland Mendocino, and we'll be covering more cases that are inland up in the Mendocino National Forest as well. There's some cases, and we'll get into all that. Um, but yeah, a young man found dead north of the town of Willits, California. And that's off. That's right on Highway 101 as well. Like I said, we'll be doing a Highway 101 series into these counties as well. Also, an occult text nearby was wearing women's clothing when located last year, and this is 2022. So this is a throwback. And but I thought it was interesting because a lot of times we've been mentioning like a lot of occult stuff. Crowley's name has been popping up. Yeah, y'all know Alistair, right? And so it's like a picture of some evidence there. And this book on tarot reading, written by occultist Alistair Crowley, was found near the deceased man last year. Pretty trippy. It says last fall, a dead body was located underneath a Highway 101 bridge near the intersection with State Route 162. To this day, the identity of that body remains unknown aside from a few facts. The deceased was a male dressed in women's clothes. An Aleister Crowley book on tarot was found near the body. On September 21st, 2021, a motorist on Highway 101, so it was in 2021, a motorist on Highway 101 stopped to walk their dog on the side of the roadway north of Willits, but south of Highway 162, and made a grisly discovery: a badly decomposed body. Nearly 5 months later, investigators have determined the body to be of that of a man in his 20s, but a detailed released via National Missing and Unidentified Person System is noteworthy enough to trigger the memory of someone out there. The deceased 20 something was found wearing women's clothes. There's some of the items there. Again, I wasn't screen sharing, but you did get to hear the audio there. I'm not sure what it does. Does it just show me when I'm not screen sharing? There's some of the clothing items. Let's see. Some jeans as well. And in some of the, just a heads up, in some of these other cases we'll get into later from these areas, they show quite a bit. There's some pretty graphic ones, and I think we might be able to share them here. So just heads up if you're not into the graphic, and I like to see it all. And scroll back up to show you the little booklet, the tarot booklet there, in case you didn't see that. But yeah, I thought this was pretty weird. Sounds like maybe some strange occult activities going on. So yeah, we'll be diving back into that one, see if we find any more information on that. I am interested in the strange cases like that as well. When who knows, maybe some sort of ritual or something going on there. But yes, don't forget Robert Durst also. So what I'll do is I'll share really quick because I was checking out some other stuff. And let's see if we could go to my channel really quick. Thank you for bringing that up. And it's funny because it only says duh here. The battle. Gotcha. Roger that. Yeah, Robert Durst, well known serial killer. And actually, I lived in the same town. I didn't get to check out his house because I lived in Trinidad, California. And that's where Robert Durst had his house. And he was possibly linked to some missing persons cases out of Eureka and several other women that were missing out of the Humboldt County area. He was known to cross dress as well. And I believe he was nailed in Texas for some other cases out there. But yeah, he was around Humboldt County at the same time. Some of these girls had gone missing, and there's a few other folks in the county that have made headlines also with having to do possibly with some people that have gone missing. And so I was checking out. Let's see, can't do it like that. I was checking out a pretty good short documentary that someone did, and they call it the Humboldt Missing Five, and some of you may be familiar with that. And it's five particular cases that they had picked out of these young women that went missing in the county, and they bring up these uh, serial killers and possible serial killers that may have ties to them. Super interesting. So I'm gonna share that video with you. And there's another video on Humboldt County that I shared in the community post, and it's about the maps that we touched on recently of the missing people, missing 411 map, the Bigfoot map, the cave maps. And it's funny, after I think it might have been the next night. So either the algorithm of the AI algorithm or the algorithm of the universe or both must have heard me, and I got that video pop up in my feed, and I went ahead and shared that out. And let's see where. Let me pull up my channel here right quick. And here are the posts. And boom, there it is. So something is happening here. And it's the black hole of missing people, Humboldt County. Check that out. And there's the video with Robert Leiderman being interviewed by Tate Hieronymus. And check out the post for any other shares. And yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback on tonight's show. If you got any more information, I could see the battle, Juliana. Some of you are very familiar with these areas, maybe familiar with some of these cases. And of course, if there's information you can't share, then hey, you keep that hush hush, right? But yeah, it'd be cool to dive in deeper into some of these cases. Maybe y'all could share some more that we weren't able to find, because I know there is more out there. And lovey love. You watched the oh, all right, cool, right on. Yeah, I heard there's a whole documentary on that. So yeah, I lived very near, and so does you ever see Durst around, Juliana? Jeez, that'd be creepy. I try to remember to see if and I think he was probably already gone when I was up that way, maybe, but I wonder. And I'm sure there's others roaming around still. So keep your eyes peeled, y'all. Keep that tool nearby. And oh yeah, me too, lovey love. It's a thing. For sure. You know, I gotta know about them. I want to know as much about them as possible. And anyway, so we're getting a little past the 2 hour mark. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Hopefully this was informative for educational and entertainment purposes only, and not only, but entertainment and educational purposes. You can say that only too for the entertainment part if you want it only, if that works. But yeah, the educational part is important as well. So yeah, and as we get better, practicing with all this and sharing and using the maps and stuff, we'll I'm sure things will get cooler, hopefully, you know. And anyone ever interested in jumping on, because I know it's with text, it's also hard to express yourself and get certain information out. What's up, Tina? Tina C. I got your message earlier. And yeah, it was a great day today. Hope you had a great one as well. So yeah, stay tuned, y'all. We'll be reporting from the shop this weekend. Brother will be up in the Sierra Nevadas, so hopefully we get some strange stories from him up that way. And share the channel out. Appreciate the support. Smash that thumbs up. and make sure you're subscribed. Y'all have a blessed rest of your night, and we'll see you in a few hours. Ja willing. One love, y'all. I'm gonna find our outro here. Let's see where we at. Boom.